Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with a quick out-of-the-box mail day. I am letting a little cat out of the bag. I'm not quite the 99.9% basketball card collector / investor that I purported to be. I'm sort of transitioning. I'm more like 97% basketball now. So this mail day video is going to be your first glimpse of some sort of outside the box stuff that I'm doing, but it is again comprised of basketball. But you'd be shocked what the other 3% of my collecting habits consist of. So without any delay, let me get you over to my PWCC vault and show you what hit the PWCC vault very recently. So this is mail day number 43, believe it or not, just in 2022. So always fun to bring these videos to you. Here we go. We got it. Let's get the video started. And I'm going to try to stay consistent here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these. I've told you guys before, I collected 2012 Prizm base set in PSA 10. I've got 288 out of the 300 cards required in PSA 10 condition. I've sent 4,000 probably to PSA over the course of the past 2 years. I've offloaded a lot of those. It's been a mixed bag as far as profit and losses go. I bought some too high, in PSA 10 slabs. I've sold some for way more than I think they're worth in PSA 10 slabs, so it's just a hit or miss deal. The good news is that all the PSA 9s and PSA 10s I get from this set, there are set collectors out there. So if you guys are interested in collecting this set, you can make big moves and get into it. Again, it's just base. It's not silver, gold, or green or anything special. It's just a base set, but you would be surprised. The hardest cards to get, in fact, every single one of the cards left, the most valuable card is probably a $35 Tobias Harris card that I am missing. The rest of the cards are absolute, pure, and utter complete no-name commons in PSA 10 slabs. They're just hard to find. And here's the cats coming out of the bag. This is a Pop 1, none graded higher. This is my 2012 Season 1 Joffrey Baratheon. Jack Gleason was the name of the actor. There is no character on any show I've ever seen in my entire life that I hate more than his character on this show. If you've ever watched Game of Thrones, if you haven't, go find it and watch it. You're gonna find out a D&D nerd, Dungeons and Dragons nerd, growing up, played role-playing games, adventure, strategy stuff. I spent tons of time doing that. At the same time, I was playing 3 sports and, trying to compete and play sports at the college level. So I'm a weird mixed bag out here. Look, I've never said I fit into the box like most people out there, but there's no shame in my game. So I'm a humongous Game of Thrones nerd. I decided to make a move on some of these cards. Some are for investment, some are for my personal collecting. This one will stay in the vault and stay in my collection. It's like collecting a Marcus Smart card or a Paul Pierce or an Antoine Walker card. I hate those guys, but I've got some of their cards in my collection for various reasons. But this is the 2012 Rittenhouse Game of Thrones. It's the full bleed. There's 2 types of autograph cards in here. There's a full bleed like you're looking at where there are no borders, and then there's a border to which you'll see in just a bit. But this is Joffrey Baratheon. He was king for a little bit until he got poisoned. I deem this one, this is a card I bought raw and submitted to PSA myself, and you'll see in the next card on the that I'm going to show you on the screen as well. I asked them to grade this authentic because the card had bad defects on the back. I don't know if you can tell. It actually doesn't look too bad in the picture, but if I recall, these edges were a lot worse. Damn, they don't really look terrible right now. I probably could have got a 7, but they were in pretty bad condition, and that might have been a surface fleck, which I thought might have got it a 6 or something like that. So anyway, I just went with authentic. But as you can see, none graded higher by PSA, which means some of these are going to BGS. I know for a fact, but same thing. Pop 1, none graded higher. This is Alfie Allen, who plays two characters in the Game of Thrones series. He plays Theon Greyjoy, heir to the Iron Throne. Heir to the Iron Islands. But he also plays Reek, which is one of the most despicable, freakishly uncomfortable, cringy characters in the entire series. But this definitely is why I got this one just slabbed authentic. It was torn to pieces, almost like a PMG at the top, but he's an interesting character to follow in Game of Thrones. But he got an authentic with a 9 for the autograph for whatever reason. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an autograph grading expert, but it is what it is. So 2 Game of Thrones cards, a bunch of PSA 10 2012 base Prizm cards. I do have this little baby, Jordan Jim. This came from a collection that I picked up for pennies on the dollar here locally. These cards actually from 2002 SP Authentic are really hard cardstock and really durable. They're like little tanks, and so they graded really well. This is one of many SP Authentic bases that I sent in. Not a really crazy high pop card. Again, it's Jordan in his Wizards uniform. I like Jordan in his Wizards uniform cards because they have a nice price point. SP Authentic is a really cool product that I like from the early 2000s. And so, especially their game jersey stuff, they get some really cool jersey patch stuff. But this is just a base, Jordan in his Wizards uniform. Not sure who that is in the Nets uniform behind him trying to contain him. Maybe Aaron Williams. You never know. Maybe Aaron Williams. Here we go. Next on the list. I know this is going to look like a replay, but it's not. There's 3 of these in the world, and I've got 2 of them. So I think last mail day, I showed you one of them. This is the other one. So different serial numbers. 2 of these in my collection in PSA 10 condition. I just love the card. My Fireworks is my favorite insert from Prizm. The green mojos are serial number to 25, as you can see on the back. Serial number 7 out of 25. And 2014 is my favorite year of the Fireworks cards. I just think they look clean. So nice Damian Lillard pickup there. A baby Lillard. I got this at a card show actually in New Orleans. A little teeny tiny card show in New Orleans when I went down to visit with some friends of mine and say hi to some local collectors down there. I don't know why I got a 9. The centering looks pretty bang up to me. I like it. You can even tell on the back, centering looks great. Corners, edges look good. I don't know. This card probably could attend, but it's a 9, so not an expensive card. Pop 101, just one graded higher. It's not serial numbered or anything crazy like that. You know, probably a $20, $30, $40 card. I think I paid $25 for it at the card show, and it was a Lillard, and it was a pretty unique looking card. Not the greatest color combination with purple, white, and red, but it is what it is. So happy to add that little munchkin to the collection. And then probably the biggest Game of Thrones card that I've ever purchased. One of my favorite characters in the movie. Honestly, when I started, in the series, when I first started watching the series, I was absolutely astonished that he died so soon. Sorry to spoil your watching, but if you haven't seen it now after this many years, then you probably deserve to have the ending spoiled. But like, I certainly expected him to be at the end of the whole thing, but not long for the show. Sean Bean is the actor's name. Of course, he was Lord Eddard, or affectionately known as Ned Stark, and he is a foundational piece going forward because, you know, his family is one of the primary families and houses in the Game of Thrones series all the way from start to finish. Plays a prominent role in it. Surface got an 8.5, which seemed odd. The autograph's a 10, which is what matters the most to me on these cards. So happy to add Ned Stark. It's a pop 7. 3 higher graded 9.5s, presumably. And then lastly, again, like I said, 97% basketball now, so I got to fill that 3%. You see me fill it with some soccer. I've filled it with some Game of Thrones stuff, and there's going to be more Game of Thrones stuff coming, believe it or not. I'll go quick through it because I know that's not why y'all are watching my channel. And then I picked this bad boy up. I bought it raw, got it graded with BGS, didn't do great. 8.5 I can deal with. 9 on the autograph sucks. It's the streaky Christian Pulisic autograph, of course. But look at that young Pulisic right there with Landon Donovan. At the time I purchased it, I figured these are probably 2 of the 5 greatest American-born USA national team soccer players that ever lived. I knew the World Cup was coming up. Thought maybe there'd be a time to buy raw, grade, and then flip this as we approach the World Cup. If maybe the U.S. team can make some noise and do some damage. It is a number to 35, card number 13 out of 35. Of course, these guys are both jersey number 10s, which, as you know, if you watch soccer, means something. But that's it, guys. That's the end of mail day number 43. 3 base Prizm PSA 10s to add to my set, which is sitting nicely in my vault. I have 288 of the 300. 3 Game of Thrones cards, 2 in PSA slabs, 1 in this BGS 9 slab. 3 pretty relevant characters, specifically, you know, the Sean Bean, Ned Stark card's a big one for Game of Thrones collectors. A base Jordan that I didn't have that I needed to add. The second copy of the Green Mojo Lillard Fireworks, a little Munchkin Lillard that anytime you see a card that's relatively meaningful that you can pick up at a card show in Louisiana, you just grab it, and this was one. And then the dual autograph soccer national treasures, Pulisic and Landon Donovan, serial number to 35 in the BGS 8.59 slab added to the collection. That's it. That's mail day number 43. Thank you guys for watching. I got more mail days coming. I got some really big PSA grade reveals coming up. I've got some cool videos. You're going to see a 4-part video series coming up very soon, or it may have already come out. I'm not sure what order you'll see this in, but regarding my first experience submitting to tag grading, a good friend of mine, Jeremy Lee, is a part of that group, and I was curious about tag. A lot of what tag stands for interests me, and so I thought, what better way to experience it and explore that potential grading company than by just starting a submission and walking you guys through it. And so I've done a 4-part series. I've got part 1 filmed. I'm about to film part 2 right after this video. And then part 3 will be when the cards come back and I reveal the grades. And part 4 will be if I decide to sell some of those cards, how they do on the secondary market. Because ultimately with all these grading companies, the question is, what percentage of PSA 10 is a tag 10? What percentage of PSA 10 is CSG 10? What percentage of PSA 10 is SGC 10? That's the age-old question, and so that will be part 4 of the video series. How to navigate the site, how to make your submission and fill out the submission kit and then send it off. What the grades were when they come back, which is always fun to look at grade reveals. And then lastly, how they do on the secondary market if I decide to sell any of those tag slabbed cards. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby. Even during this bleak down period, stay positive in the hobby. If it's this much fun when prices are going down this much, think how fun it'll be when that day comes where rainbows are shining and there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and your cards are actually going up in value. Wouldn't that be nice? We'll get back there one day, I promise. I'm blowing sunshine up your butt. So anyway, stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Make sure you go find me on the Luka Nation Network as well. I'm on there 4 times weekly. But keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.